Hold up, hold up, hold up. It's that boy G Plans. Don't give a damn. He cooler than a fan. Walking real tall. Some say he's a man.
For sure. Now we was sitting in there talking, eating, having a good time, and you was like, "Bro, I'm in solitary confinement,
Yeah,
and I'm watching ants."
watching
I
ants.
say, "What?" Like, I mean, I didn't say what, but I'm in my head like, "What ants?" And you
Yeah,
was just talking about I had to talk to ants. So,
yeah.
like, what? Can you explain that, please?
Man, like I say, I was in solitary confinement, man, for probably about 6, 7 months, and I had a tablet, and the tablet wouldn't work unless I get close to the door. So one day I'm sitting by the door and I feel some crawling on me, and I look down at some ants. But come to after I seen them ants, it was my best friends. That's the only thing I seen for 6 months. You feel what I'm saying? So I just started studying them ants and just watching how they work in teamwork and how they get what they get today to store for tomorrow. It's educational, you know what I'm saying? And it just made me think about a lot of things and made me see things for that if you pay attention to certain animals,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, you can understand a lot of things. And if you put that to apply that, then it can add up to something, you know what I'm saying? That's what I was doing with the ants, and it just made me think, that goes when you talk about generational wealth. Basically, them answers, that's their form of generational wealth. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the
Mhm.
way you look at it.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Now, Lil Durk just got out of 5 months
Hmm.
solitary confinement. I've never been to jail. Don't plan on going.
Mm.
And I ain't got time for all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It ain't.
Um, but what's that experience like? You locked down for months at a time, and all you got to talk to is ants. So,
It's mental. It's mental. You hear me? It's your body trapped and your mind trapped.
mm,
So it's a mental prison. So that's all I can give you. It's not happy days. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that you deal with, and then you're thinking about, you go from thinking about you're looking forward to getting out of jail, in jail. You feel
mm.
me? So now you're looking forward to getting out of jail to be in jail. You feel
So
me?
getting to population,
Yeah,
man,
it's crazy.
man,
It's crazy.
yeah. Now we were having this conversation, and you was like, "Bro, like we are animals,"
Yes.
and I'm like, "Okay, I mean, and you got to breaking it down about the
Yeah.
things you
Experience.
experienced.
Yes.
Can you go into detail about this comment
Yeah.
that you made?"
Well, yeah, I was basically just saying about animals, that we are all truly animals. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And the only thing we do have different is that we have free will and we have a choice. But outside of free will and choice, we are basically animals. And what really made me come to light is looking at that was back in around the flood, whatever the flood was. I can't quite think it was a flood. And off of Cullen, these little cats had broken into this feed store, and the feed store owners got into a shootout with them. You know what I'm saying? And one of the little dudes got killed. Well, where my studio said it was a good friend of mine's on the mortuary. So one day he come get me and tell me, "Bro, come out, I want to show you something." So I go walk with him into his business, and when I walk into the back of his business, I walk into the room, and all I see is a piece of meat, a corpse laying on the thing with a 2x4 in between the ribs, and all the insides gone. And I see a skull, and with the skin pulled over the head. And I was like, "What the hell?" He like, "Oh man, yeah, bro, damn man, I forgot to tell you."
I
I'm
would have
like,
threw
"Damn,
up.
man, it had me like that." But again, I'm in it now. And he was like, "Man, you know him, you know him." And I'm like, "Who?" He say, "Look, watch this." And he pulled the man's skin back over his face. I'm like, "Damn." He like, "Man, that's one of them little dudes that got killed at the feed store down the street." And as I stood there watching, it just looked like a deer. Like when they cut a deer out and kill a deer and they draining the deer, you cut them open and you just can see his ribs wide open where the insides out, and it just made you think like, "Damn, this is an animal." You know what I'm saying? And then you go back and say, "Man, that's a human being." So it just made me think. It's just, what I'm saying, we're just animals, and the only thing we have outside of animal instincts
Mm-hmm.
is that we have free will and we have a sense of emotion,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And that's why I say it like that, because like I was saying earlier in that conversation, is that's why when we see animals do emotional things, it shocks us. because we're not used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that man made a choice.
Yes, he made a choice.
And he paid for it.
Yes.
And like people making choices, getting incarcerated and all these different things like that.
Everything is a choice. Drug addiction, choice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything is choice. You know, you can't play victim. You gotta hold accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And even with my situation going down this last time with people snitching on me, you know what I'm saying, all the Mexicans, you know, at first I was in the blame game, but then you had to come to grips and realize who put them people in position to tell on me. You see what I'm saying? That's why I did some on one of my motivational Meechie things about foundation. You know, people don't understand that in order for you to change anything, you cannot change it from the surface level. You got to change it from the foundational level.
Yes.
You know, and it's impossible. You know, anything else outside of changing from the foundation is just a Band-Aid. You know, when you in that deep water, you can't scuba dive and change the problem. You can't even butterfly and change the problem. I mean, you can't snorkel and change the problem. You can't butterfly and change the problem. You got to scuba dive to change the problem.
That's right.
It's just like a house. You know, when you got a house and the walls cracking, the windows squeaking and the doors shifting, you know, you want to know, man, what's going on with the house? And then next thing you know, you got to go spend $20,000-$30,000 to fix the foundation.
Foundation got a crack in it.
You feel me?
For sure.
So everything is foundational.
For
you
sure.
know, and even when it goes to trying to change society or what's going on, you got to figure out how to get to the foundation of the problem.
You right. You right. Me? You was telling us that, man, I had a conversation. Mm-hmm. And I had to tell this lady that, look, when it comes to black people,
yeah,
it's no excuse now.
No, it's no excuse.
Can you expound on that, please?
Yeah, I was just my daughter, she's in Connecticut, she's in college, Mitchell College up there, and she's matter of fact, she got a book out called "Till Death Do Us Part."
Congratulations to her.
Yeah, I nodded to see right.
Yeah,
and she's really want to make a change in her generation. And it was another one of her little friends that go to school with her same way, want to make a change in their generation, but they're putting together a little seminar and they want me to speak. And I was basically telling them, you know, when they got to reading it to me, and one of the young ladies got to telling me about prison and how prison got this amount of disproportionate black people in prison, and this is why the black man this, and this is why the black man that, and I had to put a stop to that and tell her, you know, hey, I understand the pro-blackness, I salute you on the pro-blackness, but that is not the issue. I say, because at the end of the day, you got people in that prison that don't deserve to be there, but you also got people in that prison that deserve to be there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And at the end of that, the foundation of that is they made a choice. And I told them, I'm like, yeah, I understand where y'all coming from, but again, y'all early 20s. I'm 53 years old. I just did 7 years in prison on a 135-month sentence. I say, but I'm not the victim. I made a choice. I say, so at the end of the day, everybody else in that situation made a choice. So you can't play the victim. You can't say, oh, the white people doing this, or the white people. You can't say that, because we had a black president. Even though we still have small setbacks, we had a black president. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Does that frustrate you when a lot of black people blame everybody else?
You know what? It's not the fact that it frustrates me. Always correct that problem, because I can't play the game. You know, I can't play the game because I hold myself accountable. And what when you say frustrate me, that would have to be me putting energy into trying to correct that person's thoughts. So I really don't waste that type of energy with people like that. You know what I'm saying? I give anybody a second, very few a minute. So I don't really waste that energy. When a person comes to talking about certain things, I'm gonna put a halt to that. Hey man, I ain't really with that. You feel what I'm saying? Because that don't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we got too many black millionaires, billionaires. How can another man hold you down?
Yeah.
You feel me? Just as bad as another man can't pull you up, another man can't hold you down.
That's
you
true.
You hold yourself down. You know, your thoughts create your reality. If you think about this position and think in this position, you're going to stay in that position. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go for that part, you know.
For sure. And I understand why you said that,
Yeah.
man. We all got computers in our hands. We
Yes.
can research and find out about anything we want,
Yeah.
but we choose to indulge in all type of other stuff. But
You know, that goes into the point of the little saying, we all got the same 24 hours.
yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? So how can another man hold you back from what you want to do?